All right, so Morton asked me to tell him a little bit more about the shock absorbing bar mounts, which are these, obviously. Let me zero in on that thing. You can see how that is. The string actually is here, and it goes through and actually rests on the rubber, not, am I getting in the way of the camera? I am, okay. It rests on the rubber and bounces a little bit when you strike the bar. And that allows for shock absorption, and it separates this from the frame. When I first started making frames, my objective was to make a frameless frame, something that would hold the bars and resonators in place and not add or subtract more to the sound of the instrument, which is the bars and resonators. The instrument for the player is the frame. And the frame is, in my opinion, at least as important as the others. It starts with the bars, then the resonators enhance that, and then the frame makes it easier or harder for the player to play what they want to play and more pleasant. And then it also can detract by adding unwanted noises, shaking, and whatever else. So the bar mounts are an attempt, or not an attempt, they are successful at isolating the bar from the resonator and from the frame, and then it allows the bars to sing more, much like rim mounts did for drums, but actually even more effectively. So that's it. Now here's what they look like without being covered. Let me find one here. I got one in my pocket. Here's one here. It's not covered, so you can see the shape of it, and then the outside rails have this frame to it, or this shape to it, and it is it's similar to the Musser, or to the outside rails of the Musser or the standard instruments, but this part is deeper, so that actually you can see here. Here, I'll shine a light on it so you can see through it. So you can see that the rubber actually is what the string will rest on. All right, and then on the other type, on the inside type, they have the hook portion, so that so the string will stay in place. When the damper rail comes up, it'll still hold it down, but you can see that the string will rest in there, actually in there. All right, I'm going to show you how the string goes on and off now. Zero in on this, and I'll try to stay out of the camera view. And there it is. It comes off that way, kind of like a fishing bobber, if you know what that is. I'm not a fisherman, but I remember as a child seeing those things. All right, another feature that's kind of fun, not only fun, but extremely pleasant to use. Every time I have to take my bars off or I want to stretch the string tighter, I love myself for coming up with these guys. I can stick those on there. I can pull the string as tight as I want. I can loosen the string. I can replace the string. It takes less than a second to do that. There are no springs I have to fool with. That's dumb. For the manufacturers to continue not to put these on an instrument or something similar on the instruments now is just dumb. This is so pleasant, and every time you'll set up your instrument and you'll use these, you'll thank yourself for them if you ever put them on yours. It does take a little bit of ingenuity, a little bit of money to make them go onto your instrument, but it can be done. Anyway, that's the shock absorbing bar mounts. It really does work. Oh, by the way, some companies are claiming that they rest their harp portion on rubber, but that might help a little bit. It's not going to keep the wrapping. Let me grab the mallets. It's not going to keep the wrapping or the knocking noise from going through the instrument. This is the sound that we don't want to hear when we strike the bars, and you don't hear that. So on these, even with the pedal up. So it's all you hear is the sound of the bars. Now, this is a piece of rubber, and if I strike the piece of rubber, you can see it still goes through that quite. I mean, that's so mounting the frame on it and trying to get away cheap by not using actual shock absorbing bar mounts. That's just what it is. It's on the cheap. This is the real deal here. It works beautifully. I love it. Makes a good set of bars sound fantastic. Makes a mediocre set of bars sound good, and it's really quite nice.